What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Spider Kel coming at you one more again with another poor man's movie review. We're gonna be talking about Thor Ragnarok. And excuse me, cause I'm always at work. I'm always working in my bus. Take care of deal with the aftermath of my middle school. So yeah, Thor Ragnarok, man. Um, I want to start off saying like I'm conflicted about this movie. Uh, like, don't get me wrong. I thought the movie was great. I thought the movie was excellent. But I had problems with the movie where it makes me think like, why am I so uh positive about this movie? Why did I feel this movie like was as good as it was? And I explained to you why. I figured out why, and I explained to you why. But real quick, the movie Thor Ragnarok. The movie was about kind of really, in a nutshell, Thor coming to power. Uh, Odin dies in the movie. Um, I guess Odin being alive keeps his first daughter, because Thor, no one knew. Everyone that lives in Asgard now, including Thor, Loki, or yeah, Thor, Loki, everyone that exists in Asgard knew nothing about Hela, and Hela was the firstborn. Like, he was Odin's first child in the movie, because in the comics, Hela is Loki's kid. So, if I believe Hela is Loki's kid. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. So Odin being alive, I guess his Odin force keeps her in this realm that he banished her in, and now that he was dying, like, he couldn't keep her in her, you know, dimensional prison. So she breaks out. She literally like kicks the shit out of both Thor and Loki. They try to Loki tried to do like an emergency escape. Had the Bifrost bridge open so they can travel back to Asgard. Hela hitched a ride, and in the process of transporting to Asgard, she knocked both Loki and Thor off of the Rainbow Bridge. The transportation Rainbow Bridge or whatever, like, knocked them off course, and they fell on the planet Sakaar. Thor gets kidnapped by a Valkyrie that's fell from her grace. She's feeling all sorry for herself. He gets kidnapped from by a Valkyrie. Uh, got an obedient disc, just like in the comics World War Hulk. They'll still have like a medium sized disc on their chest, like in the comics. They did like a little mini chip type disc on their neck, but had like the same effect, kind of like dampening their powers and stuff. Uh, Valkyrie sells Thor to the Grand Master. So the only difference between, well, some of the difference between the Planet Hulk comic book series when he went on Sakaar is the Grand Master runs Sakaar in the movie, but in the comics it was run by a king that belonged to the people of that world. I forgot his name though, but in the movie, the Grand Master, brother of the Collector, which I think that's so great that they have both the Collector and the Grand Master shown on the big screen. And I hope they, maybe in Avengers Infinity War, they like link those two puzzles pieces together, let them know that I think they're celestials. They're ancient celestials. But so yeah, Thor gets sold to the Grandmaster by Valkyrie. Grandmaster tells Thor like if Thor beats his champion, he'll let him go. And just so happens champion was Hulk. Thor and Hulk scrap for a little bit, then reconcile later on. Thor recruits Hulk, Loki, Valkyrie to go back to Asgard and um, and save the Asgardian people. And his hopes was to save the people and the realm, but he only ended up saving the people. Oh, while Thor and Hulk and Valkyrie is going through all this in Sakaar before making it back to Asgard, um, Hela was making hella waste to everybody in Asgard. No one knew who she was. No one cared who she was. You know, so she killed almost everyone. She killed almost everyone. Heimdall ended up saving a lot of Asgardians, and take them to a safe refuge, away from Hela. And Hela finds them because she needs Heimdall's sword, I guess, to to teleport from like different realms or whatever. Yeah, she needs Heimdall's sword. Thor and the gang makes it to Asgard, and they end up saving the day by, releasing Surtur, or bringing Surtur back to Asgard, or on Asgard, to start Ragnarok. All right, the movie was a good movie. It was a good movie. I enjoyed the movie, but the things that bothered me, like really bothered me, like okay, like in the beginning, Thor is captured. He's narrating, and you see that he's captured by Surtur, and Surtur is the guy that's prophesied to always bring the end, or the coming of Ragnarok, the end of Asgard. So what Thor did to prevent this, because in both the comics and now in the movies, Thor is always trying to figure out a way to prevent Ragnarok. Like, why do his people need to go through this all the time? This is like a traditional thing, Ragnarok. So he took the crown off of Surtur, kicked the shit out of Surtur. Did well. Like, the opening scene was real hot. Like, with him fighting with the hammer and everything like that, was really really hot. I didn't understand. I wish they showed how he got in that state, because from Thor 2, at the end of Thor 2, Loki was pretending to be Odin, and he was running Asgard. And Thor left Asgard, and his adventures picks up in Avengers Age of Ultron, and then he goes back. From the moment he goes back to Asgard after the events of Age of Ultron, what was he doing? I don't understand, because in this movie he was already captured. He defeats Surtur and goes back to Asgard, and then he deduced himself that um, Odin was really Loki. Like, when you went back to Asgard after the events of Age of Ultron, you didn't know that was Loki by that time? Like, how long did it take? Did it really take that when you came back and he was doing that play about Thor and Loki for you to be like, oh no, this is really Loki. This ain't Odin. That bothered me. That bothered me, because it looked like he just got back to Asgard. Like, after he fought Surtur, he looked like he just got back to Asgard. After like years of being away. And he's like, oh, you're not Odin. You're fucking Loki. But at the end of Age of Ultron, like, Heimdall opened up the Bifrost Bridge so he can go to Asgard. So in between the end of Age of Ultron, when he went back to Asgard, and the beginning, and before the events that took place at the beginning of Thor Ragnarok, what was he doing in that time? Like, I don't understand that part. I don't understand that. I don't understand how he was powerful enough to. He kicked the shit out of Surtur, in my opinion. Kicked the shit out of him, took his crown, depowering him, so he could stop Ragnarok. I didn't understand how he was powerful enough to do that. But he was getting his ass kicked by Hela. Like, Hela was fucking him up. Fucking all of them up. crushed his hammer, which you come to find out Hela was using or wielded long before Thor was even thought about. Like how, and they were saying like Hela draws her power from Asgard, but seeing how Thor's a child of Odin too, shouldn't he be able to draw his power? They said that in the movie. Excuse me, guys, I'm sick. But they said in the movie that he could also draw his power from Asgard. You know, because Thor, just like the way I used to always think in the comics, like without Thor's hammer, he can't summon lightning. But I guess, because he is literally, the god of thunder in the movie, child of Odin, like he has the power to summon thunder. Period. Like I guess his power is just so raw. He needed a hammer to channel it. That's what Odin was saying. Like just your power is just too raw, and the hammer was just to help you channel that power, which makes sense. I'll accept that. Uh, I don't like the fact that it show exactly how Hulk got on the planet Sakaar. They didn't show that. Uh, what other inconsistencies? I like the fact that they made it a little comical. The movie a little comical, but one thing that I feel like they did, which they always do, Hollywood always do this when they come up with an idea to change the the flavor of the movie. When Hollywood decides to make a movie dark, they go all the way dark. When Hollywood decides to make a movie light, they go all the way light. And I feel like in this movie, because they decided to make it a little funny, they made it all the way. It was no chill time though. There was moments where shit should have been more serious, had more of a serious tone, and there was cracking jokes. Like the only time it was kind of serious is when Thor lost his eye, which was another So at the end, they're all fighting. Thor's channeling his power. He realized, he could summon and wield thunder at his will, at his whim, or whatever. So I'm thinking, okay, he's gonna be like a little toe to toe with Hela. She's still stronger than him. So correct me if I'm wrong. From the comic, I never followed Thor, but I read a little, comic here and there throughout the years. And I do remember a series where Thor had the Odin Force. Like Odin died, and he was next in line to be king. Now Thor has the same type of eye patch his dad has. His dad is supposedly dead. He's the new king. So should he have the Odin Force? Like the moment Odin died, shouldn't the Odin Force like transfer into Thor? Like, is Thor going to get the Odin Force? It make a lot of sense if he did, which would make him a big powerhouse to fight Thanos, for Avengers Infinity War. But he should be King Thor, Odin Force Thor. They didn't do that. That pissed me off. Oh, another thing that pissed me off was, correct me if I'm wrong, is it me, but did they make the Incredible Hulk weaker after the events of the first Avengers movie? I feel like Hulk in the first Avengers was the strongest Hulk ever been in anything. But after that, they been watering him down. Tony Stark fucked him up in Age of Ultron with using the Hulk Buster, which is bullshit. And now Thor, in my opinion, whooped his ass in Thor Ragnarok. He whooped his ass. If it wasn't for the Grand Master using the obedient disc on Thor, he would have won. He would have. So why they making Hulk so weak? I don't understand. Like I feel like Hulk is really weak. He's not like he's not like a trump card in the Marvel Cinematic Universe like he was or is in the comics, or used to be in the comics. Yeah, man, like Avengers 1, he was a powerhouse, unstoppable. Now he's like not really that big of a deal. But Hulk is what made the movie for me. The fact that he had dialogue. I've never understood why did they give Hulk dialogue. Ever since the very first Hulk standalone movie, like why you not giving him dialogue? Let him speak. They gave him dialogue. He was funny. You know, it was just for me, it was just great to finally see the Hulk speak and talk throughout the movie the way Hulk would talk in the comics. That's what Hulk made the movie for me. That's why I love the movie so much because of Hulk. The Incredible Hulk in this movie, to me, stole the movie. He stole the movie. I don't appreciate how weak they're making him, but he still stole the movie. It was just great seeing the Hulk speak and interact with people on more of a human level than like an animal. They have to just time at the right moment to unleash on whatever they try to defeat. It was good. Like Hulk had personality. I appreciated that, and I enjoyed that throughout the entire movie. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like with the comedy thing, like I was getting sick of it all the way up until they showed Hulk, cause they had like no chill. That they just kept on, like with the zingers and the puns and the whack jokes and whatever. Like it was all right here and there. Towards the beginning, it did like a little bit before they revealed Hulk. I was like, all right, like okay, now just get awkward. There was a lot of awkward moments. And there's more stuff more discrepancies that just didn't make sense about the movie. But I might have to make a separate video talking about it because I think I have to get my ass up out of here and pick up my elementary school kids. Oh, in a few minutes. What else that bothered me about this movie? It was just a lot of different inconsistencies that happened. Like they debunked the whole the Infinity Gauntlet being in the throne of Asgard, in like the throne room of Asgard, or is it the relic room? Because the first Thor, you see the Infinity Gauntlet and the gems in the gauntlet, and a lot of people caught that, and now in the movie, Hela goes through there and she like knocks it, calls it fake, debunking like that was the actual gauntlet and the gems. So that makes me think, why would Odin put a fake there? Like, what was the purpose of that? My bad, y'all. Sorry about that. But I would like to see Odin's purpose of doing that. I didn't understand that. The Tesseract was there. I thought the Tesseract was confiscated by Thanos already. Or does he have any gems? Maybe not. But I'm surprised Loki didn't grab the Tesseract to help them fight. The Tesseract and that freezing device or whatever that thing is. But yeah, it was a good movie overall. Like if I was to rate it, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Like simply because of Hulk. The problems that I had with the movie wasn't enough to call it a terrible movie, but it could have been a perfect movie if those little things were not in the movie. But it's definitely worth the money to go check it out. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. It's a good movie. You'll enjoy it, especially if you're a Chris Hemsworth fan. You'll definitely enjoy it. I'm a Hulk fan myself, and I definitely enjoyed the fact that they kind of blended a new Thor movie with like a Hulk spinoff in the movie. the Planet Hulk spinoff inside the movie. So like even though I know they said they're not doing a solo Hulk film again or whatever, it'll in a way, they kind of did it already through these other movies. Sorry, guys. I'm dying. All right, guys. So, yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10. I'm going to get up out of here. Maybe give me some medicine or something. I'll see you guys on the next review. All right? Peace.